The number one success secret nobody talks about until now. Hey, have you been trying to achieve things and it seems like at every angle you keep getting stopped, things keep happening, things keep going wrong? Well, I'm going to show you how to get around all that stuff in this video, and we're starting right now. Hey, I'm JR Fisher. I've been selling online since 2009, sold millions of dollars of both digital and physical products, and on this channel I just share with you the things that's worked for me so you can get good results too. Now I also have a course below. It's a $97 course. You can get it absolutely free. All you have to do is click and learn. No credit card required. Also, give me your comments at the end of this video. I want to know, what do you think of this video? What did you get out of it? What do you find that's useful? Don't forget also to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and of course ring the bell. Gotta ring the bell so that you get all notifications. 100% of the time when I do a video, if you turn on all notifications, you'll be notified. You'll know when I'm going live. Okay, let's jump into this and figure this out. I also want to suggest that you take some notes on this. Don't do it on your computer. Get a real piece of paper and a real pen and write down some of these things, and I promise you it's going to help you out. Now here's the bad thing about life. We're kind of sold a wrong program in life. We're programmed wrong, maybe that's what I want to say. It's because we're told that we're supposed to go to work and we're supposed to take the weekends off, and in the evenings we're supposed to watch TV, and we're kind of programmed to do those things. And what happens is you get on this kind of hamster wheel thing where you're just running on this hamster wheel and you don't really live your life. You're just going through these processes of working and eating dinner and watching TV and getting up, and then on the weekend you're supposed to go to a movie or go to a ball game or whatever, and it's all filled up. It's all filled up, and there's no time for the one thing that's going to make you successful. And what is that one thing? It's called reflection. How often do you actually sit down and look back about what you've done, what you want to do, the results of what you've done so far have gotten you? I think a lot of people don't do that because they weren't taught that, and the other reason they don't do that is because they don't want to see where they've come from. They don't want to see where they are now, and they don't want to see what direction they're heading. But you've got to do this. If you don't sit down and reflect on things on a regular basis, it's going to kill your success 100% of the time. You are programmed to use up all your time with work and sleep and eating and weekend entertainment, when in fact maybe you ought to take that weekend and do some reflection. Look at what you've done for the past 5 or 10 years. Look at what direction you're heading right now, and maybe that direction is going to change. You know, and I want to share my story with you. I was a single dad, and the situation I was in where, you know, I was working from, 7:30 8 in the morning, getting home at 7:30 8 9 o'clock at night, and I was doing that 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week, and I had sold myself a bill of goods. I had told myself, you don't have time to do anything else. You got 2 kids, you got this job, this is your life, this is what you got to do. And late one night I was sitting there and I was watching TV, because I watched TV for about an hour and a half, 2 hours every night after the kids got in bed, and I thought to myself, right now I'm watching TV, and what I'm essentially doing is watching other people live their lives. That's essentially what you do when you turn on a television. You're watching somebody else live their life instead of actually living my life myself. And what I started doing is working on an online business, and every night I would spend that hour and a half, 2 hours working on my online business and just leave the TV off. The TV never did me any good. And it's kind of funny, if you ask yourself, what happened on your favorite show 3 months ago, you probably wouldn't remember. Okay, so it really doesn't matter to you. It's just bubblegum for the mind. Now I'm not saying you can never watch TV, but some people actually spend so much time watching TV that they literally live their life watching other people live their life. It's the craziest thing in the world, when in fact you could actually sit down and reflect on what you need to do. Now when you reflect, you may be faced with some things you don't want to see. You may reflect on your life and say, well gee, I'm not very educated, and I don't know that much, and I'm physically out of shape, and I'm overweight, and you may look at that and go, oh my God, I'm in a bad situation. But here's the cool thing about all those things: you can change them. You can change them. Okay, you can get smarter at anything that you study. You can get better physical shape anytime you exercise. You can change your diet. Now you don't have to be perfect, and this is the thing that I think kills a lot of people, is they will start a diet, or they'll start an exercise program, or they'll start learning something, and then they'll skip it for a while. Okay, and then when they skip it for a while, they go, well, what's the point in going back to it? What's the point? You know, I had that chocolate sundae, so I might as well just, you know, can that diet because I can't lose weight. I was trying to learn a language, but I missed a couple nights, and you know, I'm gonna get behind on it, so I might as well just quit that. I was trying to get in shape, but I didn't exercise all of last week, so why even bother this week? And that's just not the truth. You're gonna have situations where you're working on something and you're going to screw up and you're going to miss it, but that doesn't mean you have to quit altogether, and that's what kills most people. You also have to look at your priorities. Your priorities are super important. I know when I was a single dad, I worked in a sales environment, and those salespeople would go out after work and they would drink and they would party and they would meet women and do all these things, and that just wasn't my priority. My priority was raising my kids. I wanted to be really good at it. I had no experience in doing this whatsoever, but I wanted to be really good at it, so I actually read books on it, and I thought about, when I talked to them, you know, what effect was it going to have, you know, 10-20 years from now? Do you do that? Do you stop and think about what your actions are doing every single day? And I knew that if I went out to a bar and I got out there and I was drinking and partying and doing all these things, long-term effect on me would not be good. I could possibly get into some trouble too, which I didn't want that to happen either, because I had these two kids and there was nobody else to look over them. If I didn't show up at night, they had nobody. Okay, so I had to be there. That was my priority. So ask yourself, what are your priorities? Is your health a priority? Is your family a priority? Are your bills a priority? And if you make all these things priorities, you'll start doing the actions that you need to do to change them. It doesn't matter if you screwed up in the past. Use this reflection tool. Use this reflection tool to see how you screwed up and what you should have done. And you can't change it, but you can certainly do it different now going forward using reflection. The next thing I'm going to tell you is to spend time with successful people. Who do you hang out with? You know, it's been said that your net worth is going to be the average of the 5 people that you hang out with. Okay, so who are you hanging out with? Now, we can't pick our family members, but we can adjust how much time we spend with them. Okay, if you've got that negative family member and they're always negative about everything and they're down on everything, and you know, maybe they're doing the wrong things, you don't have to spend a lot of time with that person. You know, you don't have to cut them off, but you don't have to spend a lot of time with them either. Also, your friends, a lot of times we'll select friends that are a lower status than us to make us feel better about ourselves. I would suggest that you select friends that are going to actually push you. They're going to actually have a higher value, that work harder than you, that are more accomplished than you. If you do those things, that's going to rub off on you, because you are a product of the 5 closest people that you hang out with. Now, I have a lot of courses and I'll tell people to do certain things, and I got to be honest with you, about 1% of the people will ever act on what I tell them to do, and they will act on things as long as it fits in with their narrative. In other words, if it's something they feel comfortable with doing, they'll probably do it. But I got to tell you, if you're going to achieve more and do more, you're going to get uncomfortable. You're not going to feel the comfort level you feel right now if you're doing everything you want to do. As soon as you start trying to achieve something else, you're going to feel more uncomfortable. And it doesn't matter if you're exercising. I'm on this pull-up kick now and I feel uncomfortable, right? It's uncomfortable to do those last few pull-ups. Those last few push-ups is uncomfortable, but I know that I've got to do that to get to the next step. And it's the same way in business. It's the same way on achieving anything. It's the same way with learning a language. You know, if you start learning another language and trying to speak that language, you're going to feel uncomfortable. You may feel embarrassed. You may feel dumb. So, you know, you'll shy away from it. So most of the people, when I tell them the steps that they need to do, they'll do all of them until they hit an uncomfortable zone. Okay, when they hit that uncomfortable zone, that's when they stop. That's when they quit. And I got to tell you, that's exactly when you need to move forward. When you're starting to feel uncomfortable doing something, but you know it's the right thing to do, you got to head in. Okay, you got to go right into it and keep doing that thing that's making you feel uncomfortable, because that's the thing that's going to really make the big changes in your life. Now, once you start whatever you're starting, whether it's learning a language, whether it's exercise, whether it's building your business, once you start, here's what you got to do. You got to check your numbers. You got to check your numbers. Okay, everything that gets checked improves. You know, it's a funny thing. You know, the business I used to run, we had a no smoking policy around the front of our building, and nobody ever checked it, and people were smoking and throwing down cigarette butts, and it was terrible. So I got all my managers together one day. I said, we're going to start checking. Okay, we're going to start telling our sales associates that they can smoke if they want, but they've got to go to the back corner of the lot, and that's going to be a long walk back there. And these people were salespeople, so they wanted to see the customers as soon as they came in, and that lot back there was about 2 acres away. So that's where they're going to need to smoke. And every day I want you to do a round 3 or 4 times a day and see if there's anybody up front, and if they are up front smoking, you need to send them to the back. Now, some interesting things happened out of this. First off, nobody smoked up front, obviously, because we were there checking it. But the other interesting thing was a lot of them started to realize that if they were in the back corner of that lot, they may miss a customer and it could cost them money. And they started looking at that cigarette as something that was actually costing them money. And lo and behold, some of them actually quit smoking. And they came to me and they said, hey, you know, you forcing us not to smoke out there really kind of pissed me off in the beginning, but you know what, I quit smoking. I don't smoke anymore because of it, because it was going to cost me money if I had to go to the back corner of that lot, and I hated you for it at the time. But you know, now I look at it and I think, you know, that was a really good thing for me. So these things that are uncomfortable, and believe me, it was uncomfortable for me, you know, these people that I worked with, these associates, you know, I wanted them to like me, of course I did, but I also knew it wasn't the best thing for the business. So once again, I fell back on priorities. What's my priority? Is it getting that salesperson to like me, to enjoy being around me, for me to make them feel good, or is it to sell more of my product? And it was definitely to sell more of my product, because I knew on down the road I may or may not ever know those people again. I may never see them again, but the amount of money I earned during that period of time based on their sales meant a lot to me. I was a single dad. I had to pay for things. Okay, so my priority became that business, not those individuals. Where are you setting your priorities? Okay, so now you know that the big secret is reflection. The reason we don't do reflection is because sometimes it's uncomfortable. We see things that we don't want to see. We look at decisions that we shouldn't have made. But here's the cool thing: if you're still living, you're still breathing, you can change these things. You can get in better physical shape, you can lose the weight, you can learn the language, you can build your business. You can get better at all these things if you stop and use reflection in your daily life. Hey, if you like this video, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Put your comments below. Have you reflected on different things? Have you changed different things? Have you had some accomplishments in your life because you stopped, you got off the hamster wheel, you looked around and said, wait a second, there's some things I need to change in life? I think so many times people wait for people to change things for them. They wait for their politician to get in office to help them out. That politician's not going to help you. The biggest changes that you'll see in your life from this point forward, and really prior to this too, are because of how you reacted to a situation, not the situation itself. That situation could face a whole lot of different people, but it's how you react to it. Do you react positively? Do you try to change it for the positive, or do you buckle under and go, oh my God, look what happened to me, poor me? I was on the phone with a relative the other day, and this relative actually said to me, I can't catch a break. You won't catch a break. I got news for you. There are no such things as breaks. You're going to make your own breaks. You're going to make your own opportunities based on your decision. So don't forget, subscribe below. Don't forget to do that, and ring the bell, turn on all bell notifications so that when I do a new video, you can be notified. Also, I've got that course below. It's a $97 course. It's an excellent way to get started. I would highly recommend you taking advantage of that. Thank you for listening to this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey, thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click that little bell right there so you can be notified every time I do a new video. Also, click on one of those videos there. Keep watching on my channel.